What are you doing, Fred?
Free wood for the lathe. Sure.
So apparently the phone died at some point. But this is incredibly, like literally wet wood. Splooging, which is easier to cut. I mean, it really is. That's why I prefer that. It's turning nice. It still has a wobble to it, and I can't figure out why. But I got plans for that. So what I'm going to do now is dry this a little bit. And what that means is I'm going to take it into the microwave and just run it through a couple of 1-minute cycles. What I've done is I've cut a groove, or basically a flat spot here. I've seen other guys do this because this is going to warp as it dries. And what that'll allow me to do is flip this back over and put it on these chucks and be able to true it back up again. That's the plan anyway. So if I'm going to turn the microwave on, that means I'm going to eat lunch too. Okay, next day, I took this in and ran it through the microwave a couple times, and I was hoping to be able to flip it, if you remember me saying that, and hook this onto the outside of these jaws, which in theory is great, except this is my lathe. I can't do that because that big dog sticks out and blocks everything, but that's okay. I have another way of doing what I want to do. Basically, what I want to do is narrow that foot up a little bit. It's way too wide. So I want to narrow that up a little bit. But to do that, I need to be able to flip it around, and I want to shape this some more. So what I have to start with is I have to true this up because it started, it worked really bad, which I knew it would. And I stopped trying to dry it, force drying it, because if you'll see, I had just a little bit of cracking starting. And that guy right there, that's just a line in the wood. That's not a crack. So I think what I'm going to do is true this back up, flip it around, knock that foot down a little bit and make it straight, because if you remember, this still had a wobble to it, and now it's really got a wobble. And then I'm just going to core this out a little bit more, and then I'm going to put it up to dry naturally. If you remember, I cut 2 blanks. So once I had the first one, the one that I just showed you, cored out pretty well, I put this one on just to round it up. I had already decided that this one was going to air dry. And I'm only telling you this because it was hilarious. This one was literally throwing water on me while I was turning it. I mean, like, it was coming off the lathe and hitting me in the face. The water was. It was that wet. I threw this in the microwave just for a minute, just to try and dry it a little bit, just so it wasn't literally sopping wet. So that one also is going to get cored out and just put up to dry. Okay, that one's up on the shelf to dry. I still have this one that I have to core out. I still have this one that I have to finish. I am so far behind. I have another one over there that I started. It's not even close. Resin. Anyway, the little gadget that you saw that I basically just had it pressed up against, Richard Raffin, who's a very famous wood turner apparently, or I'm sorry, no, Richard Finley, that's his name, had one of those, and I thought, boy, that's really cool. The problem with mine is that my plywood is not necessarily straight. So, of course, I glued it all together. And so I'll have to figure out, I like the idea, but I need something that's more stable. I have that aluminum chuck, that red aluminum chuck, but that involves so much work. Taking the chuck apart, putting that on, it's a big pain in the butt. I was hoping this would be a little bit better, but apparently it's not. But enough about that. I'm going to get this one on, get it chucked and get it emptied out so I can put it up to dry. So maybe I can not have so much cracking when it comes time to finish these. I would have loved to show you a finished bowl today, but that thing was going to just start cracking like mad. And this wood is extremely wet. But I do always appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And I'll see you on the next one. God bless.